Welcome back to our Saturday Family Story Time. It's 2021, I'm Miss Amy, and I hope you've all had a really happy and healthy winter break. I'm so glad to see you that we should just sing about it, right? Good morning to you, and how do you do? I'm happy to see you. Good morning to you. It may be cold and wintry outside, but we can make it sunny together. And when I looked at my first prop for today, I thought of a bright golden sun. So let's sing a song that Miss Barb taught me, and if she taught me, you probably know it too. Oh, Mr. Sun, Sun, Mr. Golden Sun, please shine down on me. Oh, Mr. Sun, Sun, Mr. Golden Sun, hiding behind a tree. These little children are asking you to please come out so we can play with you. Mr. Sun, Sun, Mr. Golden Sun, please shine down on me. Take a look at my sun here. It's not really a sun, is it? It's a big golden medal. This medal is the Caldecott Award, which the American Library Association, the big librarian group, gives each year to an illustrator who has drawn the most distinguished American picture book for children. It has to be for children, no grown-up picture books, in the past year. I'm thinking about the Caldecott today because right now, as we speak, a group of children's librarians is meeting. They're meeting over Zoom this year. But they're meeting together, they're discussing to decide which book will win this year's Caldecott. They'll announce the winner and any runners-up, which are called Caldecott Honor Books, this Monday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. And guess what? You can watch it too. I'll put a link in the description. And this is the book that won last year's Caldecott. It's written by Kwame Alexander, who's a very good poet. And in fact, he's won the Newbery Award, which is the award the librarians give to the words of the books. The Caldecott Award doesn't go to the words. Remember, what part of the book does the Caldecott Award go to? The pictures, which means the Caldecott Award went to the illustrator, Kadir Nelson. As we read this book, listen to the words, but really pay attention to what the pictures are doing, and see if you can see why Kadir Nelson earned his Caldecott. Undefeated. Now, when we're looking at the pictures, let's look from the very beginning. Look at these birds here. Watch those birds, keep an eye out for them in the rest of the book. The Undefeated by Kwame Alexander, illustrated by Kadir Nelson. This is for the unforgettable, the swift and sweet ones who hurdled history and opened a world of possible. You see, they're playing with the words there because the words are hurdled history. That's a metaphor. They leaped forward. This guy is actually leaping the hurdles. The ones who survived America by any means necessary. And the ones who didn't. Where's the pictures here? There are no pictures. That is part of why it won the Caldecott too, the use of the pictures. For the ones who didn't survive, there's nothing left to see. And so choosing not to draw a picture here is pretty special too. This is for the undeniable, the ones who scored with chains on one hand and faith in the other. This is for the unflappable, the sophisticated ones who box adversity and tackle vision. Look, he's a boxer. Who shine their light for the world to see and don't stop till the break of dawn. Look at all these people here. One of the special things about Kadir Nelson's artwork is all these people are real people. The real famous people, he drew them, they almost look like photographs, don't they? But then on the other hand, some of them are a little bit different. Like, look, this guy, he looks like a painting. And she looks more like a photograph. And then here's some more abstract symbols. He did a lot of different things in his art. This is for the unafraid, the audacious ones who carried the red, white, and weary blues on the battlefield to save an imperfect Union. It's an old Union soldier. The righteous marching ones who sang, "We shall not be moved because Black Lives Matter." This is for the unspeakable. Look at all those hundreds of people just shoved together in a slave trafficking boat. This is for the unspeakable. Same words, but a different story. This is much later. These are 4 kids who were killed in a church bombing. This is for the unspeakable. And these little memorials are for more modern kids who were killed in racial violence. Notice it's the same words each time, but a different, more modern picture to show you that it's still unspeakable. This is for the unlimited. You recognize this guy? You do if you saw Mundo Monday this week, don't you? This is for the unlimited, unstoppable ones, the dreamers and doers who swim across the big sea of our imagination and show us the majestic shores of the promised land. The Wilma Rudolphs, the Muhammad Alis, the Althea Gibsons, the Jesse Owens, the Jordans, the LeBrons, the Serenas, the Cheryls, the Reese Whitleys, and the undiscovered. Those are all famous athletes. And the ones that we don't know about yet. This is for the unbelievable, the wee real cool ones. This is for the unbending, the black as the night is beautiful ones. Do you see the birds? Jazz musicians there. This is for the undefeated. This is for you, and you, and you. This is for us. The end. If you want to learn more about the people in the story, lots of back matter. But, oh, did you see the birds? I think we can all agree that Kadir Nelson has painted some very good pictures in this book. I don't think, can any of you paint like that? But one thing about the Caldecott Award, which you really should know, is that the award isn't just for pictures that look like beautiful photographs like these are. The pictures can be cartoonish or abstract or funny. What they must do is help tell the story. Here's a very different book that won the Caldecott 8 years ago. This Is Not My Hat by Jon Klassen. These pictures are a little silly. The story is being told by this little fish who stole a big fish's hat. But look carefully. The little fish is telling the story. I stole it from a big fish. He was asleep when I took it. And he probably won't wake up for a long time. And even if he does wake up, he probably won't notice that it's gone. And even if he does notice that it's gone, he probably won't know it was me who took it. Look at those pictures. The story is being told by the little fish, but the pictures show the big fish. We see what the big fish is doing, and look, he's even much staying in the same place every page. Just his eye is moving. But when you see those pictures with just the eye moving, do you think the little fish is going to get away with stealing his hat by the end of the story? No. But you can't tell that from the words. It was the pictures that told the story. Here's what the librarians who pick the Caldecott winning book look for. Caldecott Medal criteria. The committee members need to think about these things to decide if the book is truly distinguished. Does the artist use excellent technique? Obviously, Kadir Nelson knows how to paint, doesn't he? That's why he won it. B, do the pictures fit with the story or ideas they're illustrating? And does the style fit the story? For example, Kadir Nelson's pictures are really dramatic and beautiful, and it's a dramatic and beautiful poem that they're illustrating. But if it was a funny book, those pictures don't really go with "This is not my hat," do they? Do the pictures help tell the story? Do they add details to the story to make the story fuller? For example, in "This is not my hat," you could see the pictures were telling you what the big fish was doing while the little fish thought he was getting away with stealing the hat. And is the child going to get from these pictures what the artist wants them to get? In other words, do the pictures make sense? But my favorite thing to do every year is to find out which books you would pick for the Caldecott. When the library is open, I like to get all the books out that people think might win and let everyone browse through them, and then everyone votes on their favorites. I can't do that this year since the library is closed. So today I'm going to show you a little bit of 10 of the books that could win the Caldecott on Monday, and have you choose your favorites just from what you see here. It's not the easiest way to do it, but it's something. And maybe you'll see a book that you really want to try out for yourself, and you can check it out. So, okay, this is it. I want everyone in your house to be watching this video now, because I want everyone there to get a chance on voting on your favorites. So you can pause this video now and go get everybody and make sure they're watching. Got everybody? Okay. If you picked up a take-home bag from the library, you got a page that looks like this. It's a ballot of all the books we're going to look at today. If you didn't get a bag from the library, that's okay. Every one of you will be able to vote online at the link on this page and down at the bottom of the video, even if you do have a paper ballot, because you can use the paper ballot to take notes or just remember which book is which. And then since everyone in your family is going to cast their own vote, some of you will have to look online anyway. Really, everyone can place their own vote, from the littlest kids who are just old enough to pick out the pictures they like best, because that's really what everyone's doing, to your great-great-grandma. Everybody vote. I want to hear your opinions. 10 books here that we have at the library. There are some books that might win on Monday that we don't have, but these are books that might win on Monday. 2020 books that came out last year, made by an American or living in the US illustrator. For example, Jon Klassen is actually Canadian, but he lives in California, so that's why he was allowed to win. If you read another book from 2020 by an American illustrator that you think should be on this list and isn't, feel free to vote for it. There's a spot on the ballot at the bottom for you to write in your own answer as well. But we have 10 books, so we have to go through them quickly. So we won't be able to read them all. We'll just look at some of the pictures that maybe most show why each book should win the Caldecott, if it would. Feel free to pause or rewind the video if you want to look more closely. Okay, so let's begin. The first book on your ballot is Honeybee, The Busy Life of Apis mellifera. The pictures are drawn by Eric Roman. It's written by Candace Fleming. This is a non-fiction book with facts about bees, which means the pictures have to be accurate, but they're artistic too. Watch as our bee is born at the very beginning of the book. One summer morning, deep in the nest, a brand new honeybee squirms, pushes chews through the wax cap of her solitary cell and into a teeming, trembling flurry. And there the flurry is, all before the title page. Most of the book takes place inside the beehive, and the words tease that the bee doesn't fly yet. So when it does fly, the whole book folds out into a big open field 4 pages across. Number 2 is Hike by Pete Oswald. He wrote the story and drew the pictures. This is a wordless picture book, so the pictures don't just help tell the story, they tell the whole story. It's the story of a dad and a kid going on a hike. You can see how they feel about this from the moment they wake up. It's a small book, but look how much epic hike is captured inside by drawing the hikers extra tiny or showing things from a different point of view. But he also shows you the small details of the hike too. And our next one is another author-illustrator, If You Come to Earth by Sophie Blackall. She is, and it says right on the front of the book, a 2-time Caldecott Medalist. She already won the Caldecott Medal twice for Finding Winnie and Hello Lighthouse, if you've ever seen those. That doesn't mean she's necessarily going to win this time, though. This book is a letter to any space aliens who might want to visit, telling all about life on Earth, and it starts with a space eye view. People mostly live on the land in big cities and small towns and tiny villages, or just in the middle of nowhere. She tells about ordinary things like getting dressed, but puts in lots of details to show the wide variety of ways to get dressed around the world. The words literally fit in the pictures, like these words traveling down the street with many forms of transportation. And look at this bird made of birds. And on this page about what grown-ups do, she has added some real people to the mix. This is the Librarian of Congress. So like Kadir Nelson did in the Undefeated, she's had to draw them so you can tell who they are. Our next one is In a Jar by Deborah Marcero. This is a story of 2 bunny friends who collect things in jars to remember them by. And look how the memories come out when they open them. But they collect things that don't even go in jars too, like rainbows and sunsets. Look at all these days of winter play in jars. Look at all the tiny details of many, many jars. The pictures are so full of details that, like Kadir Nelson used a page of no pictures for contrast in the Undefeated, look at this picture when one bunny moves away. With Evelyn gone, Llewellyn's heart felt like an empty jar. But good news, there's a happy ending when Evelyn sends a jar of her new home to share. Then we have Lift. The pictures are drawn by another Caldecott medalist, Dan Santat. He is the one who made Beagle the Unimaginary, but the words are by Min Lee. This book has words, but a lot of the story is still told through the pictures. Iris tells us in words that she loves to push the elevator buttons, but we see her little brother take over, and we see the way she feels about it. Here's a little detail that's hard to see in the scan, but her brother's stuffed tiger has Iris's name on it. That tells us that elevator buttons are not the first thing he's taken from her. But the turning point of the story is on this page, no words at all, as the elevator repairman puts something in the garbage that makes Iris very excited. It's an old elevator button. She tapes it to her own wall and can now push the button as much as she wants, but the button makes her closet door magically go to all sorts of places. Look at the contrast between reality and the magic places. And look how she feels about it. She even shares it with her brother at the end. My Best Friend. Pictures by Gillian Tamaki. The words are written by Julie Fagliano. This story is told by a girl who's just made a new friend and is really excited. The excitement shows in the pictures. Here, we laugh and turn our hands into ducks and run away quacking, and they're in the background, but you can see how the real ducks think about that in the front. Then contrast again. When we're feeling quiet, we sit under a big tree, and the picture feels quiet too. As the pictures go on, they get more carried away with the kids' imaginations. And on the last page, you see them going home, and you realize this is the first time they've ever met, and they didn't even tell each other their names, but that doesn't make their friendship any less exciting. Nesting by Henry Cole. These are very detailed black and white drawings, showing a pair of robins setting up their nest. You can see how carefully drawn this is, even in black and white. But watch what happens when color comes in. The only color used in the whole book is this robin's egg blue, which makes the eggs really stand out. The same blue is used in the sky sometimes, but mostly it's all about the detailed drawings. The old truck. Now this is an interesting one because the writers and illustrators, there's two of them, and they both wrote and illustrated together. They're brothers, Jarrett Pumphrey and Jerome Pumphrey. These pictures may not look as detailed as the ink drawings and nesting or the fancy paintings of the Undefeated, but that's because they're made with handmade stampers. Can you imagine carving all this detail into the stamps? Look at that chicken. And then stamping them all? But these pictures also tell two parallel stories. Look at who else these words describe. The old truck grew weary and tired, so the old truck rested and dreamed. The old truck sailed the seas. That's the girl imagining that, not the truck. But then halfway through the book, the girl is grown up, and now the words say, the new farmer grew weary and tired, as she works to rebuild the old truck. The oldest student, How Mary Walker Learned to Read, by, they always put if they've won before on there, Caldecott honor winner, Oge Mora, and written by Rita Lorraine Hubbard. Mary Walker was a real person, as you see in the pictures on the end papers. She lived to be 121 years old. But Ogamura has made the pictures of the story through collage, pasting pieces of paper and other things together to make the pictures. And because the story is about Mary Walker learning to read, but not until she's 116, Mora uses paper with letters on it all through the collage. Look, this hymn book they're singing from has musical notes inside. Here Mary is at 114, and sad because she's all alone and doesn't even know how to read the signs she sees outside. All this time, she thought, and they still look like squiggles. And so they do. But look at all the letters on this page as Mary's learning how to read. And now look at this page after she's learned. How can you tell? Because of the words in the pictures. And finally, We Are Water Protectors. Pictures by Michaela Goad, written by Carol Lindstrom. This book is all about water, and water is all through the book. Even this campfire is made of water. I mean, look at the difference now. The black snake of pollution. Look at all the animals caught in the pollution. But our heroine has all the water in her hair as she says, "Take courage, I must keep the black snake away from my village's water." Water remembers our ancestors who came before us, and you can see the ancestors there in the water. And here's a cute turtle for good measure. Now, there are 2 more spots on your ballot, you might notice. The first one I snuck in there because Bedtime for Sweet Creatures is the story I read on Bedtime Stories last night on the same YouTube channel. So you can, if you watch that one, then you can vote for that one too if you want. The other is the space for you to put in your write-in vote if there's another book from 2020 that you think should be included as a possible Caldecott winner. You don't have to put anything there if you don't have another suggestion, though. It's just optional. Got all that? Okay. Now your job is to pick your top 3 favorites. There's no right or wrong answer. I want to know your opinions. Now, you can place your votes on the link online or by turning this paper into the library by Friday, January 29th at 4 p.m. That way, I get them for sure. Now, everyone's going to know what the actual Caldecott winner is by then, because we'll find out on Monday the 25th, and maybe it'll be one of these books. But even if it is, if you vote after Monday, don't vote for the winning book just because it won. Like I said, there's no right answers. I want to know what you like. Maybe you'll agree with the winner, maybe not. Last year, when we had our mock Caldecott here at the library, the Undefeated, the book that won the real Caldecott, came in
second place. We ended up picking this as one of our honor books, but the actual winner was called Vamos, Let's Go to the Market, which is a very fun book, but it did not win a Caldecott last year. That's okay, because it was our book, and that's what made it special. Now, I'll let you know what our winners are on the library's Facebook page, and when I next do Saturday Storytime, which will be February 20th. So meanwhile, tickle the stars, tickle your toes, turn around, and tickle your nose. Reach down low, reach way up high. Storytime is over, so say goodbye. Don't forget to vote.